Have you ever noticed how, as we get older, some of the foods we once loved suddenly don't sit right anymore? Maybe you feel more tired after meals, or your heart races when you eat something that never used to bother you. It's confusing and frustrating, like your body is sending secret signals you can't quite understand. What if I told you that some common fruits, the very ones you think are healthy snacks, might actually be causing these hidden problems after 65? It's not your imagination, and it's not just getting old. There's more to the story, and knowing this could make a big difference in how you feel every single day. I remember when my dear friend Alice turned 70. She's always been careful about her health, walking every morning, drinking her herbal teas, and of course, eating plenty of fruit. But lately, she started feeling sluggish after breakfast. She'd sit down to enjoy her favorite fruit salad, and an hour later, feel that all too familiar heaviness and tiredness creeping in. She brushed it off at first, thinking maybe she was just out of shape, but the pattern kept repeating, and it worried her. Alice's story isn't unusual. As we age, our bodies process foods differently. Our digestion slows down, our kidneys don't filter as quickly, and medications many of us take can interact with what we eat in surprising ways. That's why some fruits, even those packed with vitamins, can become tricky to handle. It's not about cutting out all fruit, far from it, but about being mindful which ones might be working against you without you realizing it. Let me share with you the first fruit that often catches seniors off guard: grapes. Those sweet, juicy little treats can feel like a perfect snack. But grapes are high in natural sugar, which can spike blood sugar levels quickly, especially in people managing diabetes or pre-diabetes. I saw this firsthand with my neighbor George, who started eating large bowls of grapes daily, thinking he was doing something good for his health. Soon after, his blood sugar readings started creeping higher, and his doctor had to adjust his medications. It was a surprise he didn't expect, but it's not just the sugar. Grapes also contain compounds that can be hard on aging kidneys, especially if you already have some kidney stress, which is common after 65. So, while a handful or two might be fine, large servings can tip the balance. Then there's oranges, the sunshine fruit we all love. Juicy, tangy, and full of vitamin C, right? But after a certain age, oranges can cause some unwanted side effects. The acids in oranges can irritate the stomach lining, leading to heartburn or acid reflux, which many seniors experience more frequently. Worse, for those on certain heart or blood pressure medications, oranges can interfere with how well these drugs work. I remember my Aunt Margaret mentioning she felt an uncomfortable burning sensation after her morning orange juice, and her doctor explained that the fruit was clashing with her meds. Suddenly, that refreshing glass of juice wasn't so harmless. You might wonder if these fruits are natural and healthy. Why do they cause problems now? The answer lies in how our bodies change over time. Our digestive systems become more sensitive. Our kidneys and liver, which help filter out toxins and process medications, don't work as efficiently. And our medication regimens often increase, making food interactions a real concern. So, what worked fine at 40 or 50 might need a second look at 65 and beyond. Now, here's a fruit that often surprises people: strawberries. Bright red, sweet, and a common ingredient in smoothies and desserts. But strawberries can be a hidden cause of allergic reactions in seniors, even if you've never had allergies before. I met a lovely lady named Susan who adored her strawberry parfaits. One day, after eating her usual treat, she experienced itching, swelling around her lips, and even a little difficulty breathing. It was scary, especially because she never had allergies in her life. It turns out, our immune system can change with age, and new sensitivities can develop. It's always important to listen to your body and notice if any new symptoms pop up after eating. And speaking of surprises, bananas often called nature's perfect snack are on this list too. Rich, creamy, and easy to eat, bananas seem ideal, especially when teeth or digestion aren't what they used to be. But here's the catch: bananas are very high in potassium. For many seniors, especially those with kidney issues or those on blood pressure medications, too much potassium can be harmful. It can cause muscle weakness or even irregular heartbeats. My friend Paul, who loves bananas, had to reduce his intake after his doctor found his potassium levels creeping up during a routine checkup. It might feel overwhelming hearing all this, but remember, it's not about fear or giving up the fruits you love. It's about learning and adapting. Your body is telling you something, and by paying attention, you can enjoy fruit safely without worry. So, next time you reach for that fruit bowl, think about these little changes. A smaller portion of grapes, skipping the orange juice if you have stomach issues, watching for any new allergy signs from strawberries, and not overdoing the bananas. These simple adjustments can keep your heart, digestion, and overall health happier. Imagine waking up tomorrow feeling lighter, more energized, and knowing that you're making choices that support a longer, healthier life. That's the goal. It's the small, thoughtful decisions that add up over time. In the next part, I'll share 2 more fruits that might be quietly causing trouble after 65, and some easy ways to keep enjoying the sweetness of life without risking your health. For now, take a moment to think about your favorite fruits and how they make you feel. Are there any surprises? Any little signals your body has been sending? Listen closely. It might be the start of a new chapter of feeling great. You know, it's amazing how much our bodies can change as the years pass by. What used to be simple pleasures can start sending subtle warning signs we might overlook. In our last chat, we talked about grapes, oranges, strawberries, and bananas, those familiar fruits that can sometimes surprise us after 65. Now, let's gently explore 2 more fruits that deserve a little extra caution as we grow wiser. Let me start with a story about my good friend Eleanor. Eleanor is one of those people who light up a room, always cheerful, full of energy, and passionate about her garden. She's 78 now and loves to entertain guests with homemade dishes featuring fresh fruit. Pineapple was her absolute favorite. The sweet and tangy flavor reminded her of tropical vacations she once took, and she would often include it in salads, desserts, and even her morning smoothies. But one day, Eleanor started noticing something strange. She bruised easily, even from the slightest bump, and her gums bled a bit when she brushed her teeth. She thought maybe she just needed to be more careful. However, when she mentioned it to her doctor, he asked about her diet. It turned out the pineapple she loves so much contained something called bromelain enzyme that can thin the blood. For someone like Eleanor, who was taking blood-thinning medication to protect her heart, this enzyme made bleeding more likely. This was a shock to her, but it also made perfect sense. Pineapple isn't dangerous in itself, but when combined with certain medications or health conditions, it can cause issues. So Eleanor didn't have to give up her beloved fruit entirely, just learn to enjoy it in moderation and always tell her doctor what she was eating. This story is a gentle reminder that sometimes it's not about the fruit alone, but how it interacts with our bodies and medicines. If you or someone you care about takes blood thinners or other medications, it's worth checking with your healthcare provider before making pineapple a daily treat. Now, the last fruit on our list is one that might surprise you: kiwi. This small, fuzzy fruit is packed with vitamins and often touted as a health superstar. But for many seniors, kiwi can be a bit of a double-edged sword. I met a man named Charles who loved kiwi for its sweetness and ease of eating. However, after a while, he noticed an odd sensazione, tingling or slight burning in his mouth right after eating it. Sometimes, his lips would swell just a little, enough to be uncomfortable. It turned out that kiwi contains enzymes and compounds that can trigger allergic-like reactions, especially in people whose immune systems have become more sensitive with age. This isn't common for everyone, of course, but it's more frequent than you might expect. Sometimes our bodies start reacting differently to foods that were never a problem before. So if you ever experience unusual itching, swelling, or tingling after eating kiwi or any other fruit, it's a good idea to pause and discuss it with your doctor. But don't let this discourage you from enjoying fruits altogether. The key is to be aware, listen to your body, and adjust accordingly. Sometimes, simply peeling a fruit more thoroughly, eating smaller amounts, or pairing it with other foods can make a difference. I want to pause here and ask you, have you ever noticed that certain fruits seem to leave you feeling tired, uncomfortable, or just off? It's such an important observation, and yet many of us ignore these little clues because we assume it's just part of aging. But your body is smarter than you think. It's communicating with you every day. What you choose to eat isn't just about calories or vitamins. It's about how those foods work with your unique body, especially now. Maybe that juicy orange or sweet banana no longer feels like a friend. Maybe strawberries make your lips itch, or pineapple leaves you feeling uneasy. these signs are valuable. Here's something else to think about. Our kidneys, those hard-working filters of our bodies, tend to slow down with age. This means they can struggle to handle some substances in fruit, like the potassium in bananas or the natural sugars in grapes. When kidneys aren't working at their best, it's easy for certain compounds to build up, causing fatigue, swelling, or even heart issues. That's why it's not just about avoiding these fruits completely, but understanding how your body is doing and working closely with your doctor to tailor your diet. So what can you do if you love fruit but want to stay safe and healthy? First, try keeping a simple food diary for a week. Write down what fruits you eat and how you feel afterward. Over time, patterns might emerge. Maybe grapes make you feel sluggish, or pineapple causes bruising. Awareness is the first step to gentle change. Second, talk openly with your healthcare provider about your diet. Share your fruit habits and ask if any of your medications or health conditions might interact with certain fruits. Doctors can provide guidance that fits your unique needs. And lastly, remember that variety is your friend. Instead of sticking to just 1 or 2 fruits, try rotating different ones in moderation. This reduces the risk of overdoing any particular compound and keeps your taste buds happy. As we journey through our later years, making these mindful choices can mean the difference between feeling weighed down or energized. It's like tuning a finely crafted instrument. Your body deserves that care and attention. I want you to imagine again, waking up feeling light, refreshed, and excited for the day, knowing you're nourishing your body in a way that truly supports your health. This is within reach, with small, thoughtful adjustments. In the next part, we'll wrap up with some practical tips to enjoy fruit safely and share a few heartwarming stories of people who reclaimed their energy and joy by listening to their bodies. For now, think about your favorite fruits. Are there any that seem to affect you differently than before? Maybe today's a good day to try a new fruit, or simply savor a smaller portion and notice how it feels. Remember, this journey is about feeling good every day and savoring life's sweetness safely and joyfully. By now, we've talked about 6 fruits that can quietly affect your health after 65 grapes, oranges, strawberries, bananas, pineapple, and kiwi. Each one has its own little surprises and ways it might challenge an aging body. But don't worry, this isn't a list to fear or avoid fruit altogether. It's about tuning into what your body needs and making small, simple changes that add up to big improvements in how you feel. Let me share a story that really warmed my heart. My neighbor Grace, at 79, used to feel drained most afternoons. She loved her fruit bowls, especially grapes and bananas. But after learning about how those fruits could impact her blood sugar and potassium levels, she started switching things up. She began enjoying blueberries, apples, and pears instead, fruits that were gentler on her body. Within a few weeks, Grace told me she had more energy. Her heart felt steadier, and she was even sleeping better. It was a simple change, but it made a huge difference. Here's the good news. You don't have to give up the joy of eating fruit. You just need to be a little more mindful. Try these tips to keep enjoying fruit safely and happily. Listen to your body every time you eat. If something feels off, take note. That little heaviness, that unusual tiredness or discomfort, it's a clue. Moderation is your best friend. Instead of big servings of one fruit, try smaller portions and mix up what you eat each day. Pay attention to how your medications might interact with certain fruits. If you're on blood thinners, for example, talk to your doctor about pineapple or grapefruit, which can affect medicine. Consider how your digestion feels. If citrus fruits cause heartburn or irritation, it's okay to swap them for milder options, like melon or apples. Try peeling fruits more thoroughly or cooking them lightly if raw fruit irritates you. Sometimes the way you eat fruit matters as much as what you eat. Keep variety in your diet. Nature offers so many fruits with different benefits, so enjoy the ones that agree with you best. Now, I want you to picture something beautiful, your best years yet, filled with vitality, joy, and health. Imagine waking up energized, moving comfortably, and feeling light, knowing that your choices are helping you live fully and happily. Every small change you make today is a step toward that bright tomorrow. Before we finish, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever noticed a fruit that just didn't agree with you anymore? Or maybe you found a new favorite fruit that makes you feel great? Share your experiences below your story, might help someone else watching. And if you have any questions about fruits, health, or just want to say hello, please drop a comment. I read everyone and love connecting with you all. If you found this video helpful, a quick thumbs up really helps me reach more people who could benefit from these tips. And don't forget to subscribe for more warm, friendly advice about living well after 65. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Here's to many more days filled with good health, happiness, and plenty of sweet moments, fruit included. Take care, and I'll see you soon.